Good morning and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Wednesday, August 17th, and a lot of rainfall over the last 7 days. And later this week we'll break everything down, but certainly any places that were in drought conditions, pretty much all but done now. Could be some isolated areas that didn't get very much in the way of rainfall, but for the most part, over the last 7 days, many areas picking up between 2 to as much as 9 inches of rain, and heavily hit, especially was the southwestern part of the state. If we look at the headlines for today, again, scattered thunderstorms with the best chances coming in the 8 a.m. to about 4 p.m. Certainly not restricted to those hours, but that looks like the best opportunity for some scattered storms. Some of those storms could be briefly heavy rainfall, but again, this won't be a washout day by any means. We'll have temperatures up in the low 80s with quite a bit of humidity. And it looks like as far as percentage, looks like the best chance to be across central and north central lower Michigan. And some areas could pick up between a quarter to a half inch. Obviously, if you get under one of the heavier little thunderstorms that come through, you could get a little bit more. But for the most part, it looks like about a quarter an inch or so. If we look at the normals for the day, our normal high is 81, the normal low is 56. Last year, we had a high of 87 and a low of 69 for for a warm day. If we look at the next couple of slides, this is the MAC grain and weather booth at the Agri Expo in St. John's. I'll be there for just a brief period today. I'll be there all day tomorrow. And we had some popcorn, so stop by and say hi. And the other booth we have is the agronomy booth, and they've got ice cream, and that should be a pretty popular place today and tomorrow with temperatures up in the 80s. If we look at the conditions around the area right now, this morning temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, so a pretty warm start to the day. And if we look at the next shot, you can see on the radar some of that activity that'll be moving into the area here later this morning into the afternoon hours, and then we should dry out. We may have another chance for thunderstorms tomorrow in the afternoon as we build up some instability. But again, most of the time it'll be dry tomorrow. Again, just a possible gusty storm during the afternoon hours. If we look at the soil conditions, the biggest thing, all these numbers in the green are very, very low at all locations, meaning that the soil is quite saturated in many areas. So very, very moist conditions out there. Again, any of these locations, there is no drought no more. If we look at the percentage, you can see lots of green over the last 2 months. Now, obviously, some of the timing wasn't all the best, so it may be a little deceptive, but certainly we've made up for plenty of the lack of rainfall now. If we look at the weather map for this morning, you can see no really organized system, but we do have an upper wave that'll be moving through, and that's what will touch off about a 40, 50, 60% chance of afternoon or morning and afternoon thunderstorms. And if we look at the weather map for tomorrow, the next significant weather maker will be well out in the plains, and that's going to bring a cold front, and you can see some severe weather activity expected off to our west, and that'll move to the east by Friday. And as we get into Friday night and Saturday, certainly the possibility, I think, we'll see this severe thunderstorm threat moved a little bit farther to the north and east to come into parts of the state, as we have a lot of moisture that'll be out ahead of this front. It'll be a strong front. There'll be lots of dynamics with the system. So don't be surprised to see some sort of a weather risk around here during that time. And if we look at the severe weather risk as it stands for now, for day 3 on Friday, the slight risk off to our southwest, marginal risk comes up into Wisconsin. And again, as we get in towards Saturday, I think that risk for Saturday and Saturday night has a good shot at moving into the state of Michigan. And if we look at precipitation over the next 7 days, plenty of precipitation expected over much of the eastern half of the U.S., including here in the Great Lakes, where certainly another inch, inch and a half could fall in some areas here over the next 7 days. And we have, like I say, several opportunities for rain again today, and then again as we get into Thursday, a slight chance of thunderstorm, a good chance of storms as we get into Saturday and Saturday night. Looks like the best time for those, and that's what will probably bring the most rain here. Certainly should be a pretty solid line of thunderstorms out ahead of that front with lots of juicy air out in front. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great day, and 73s to all.